Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Dean, and today we're going to be talking about AI innovation, the real solution for battling the fake news. And we have a speaker here today, Mr. Franklin Otiaga. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you, Diana. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Why battling the fake news is so important to you?
It's important to me because I see how fake news is negatively affecting all consumers worldwide, especially in America, and especially for the average American, the average citizen in foreign countries. It continues to grow, and it affects your decision-making process. So if you have wrong information, imagine what the consequences are. That's why I felt that I wanted to battle. I wanted to try to find a solution for fake news, and so I developed my new company that it's called Oh, I Get It, Fake News Filter. And what we do is we grab all the articles off the internet and we deliver it to you, but we filter it through our fake news filtering system, and we give a rating like Yelp. We tell you how factual the article is, so that way consumers feel more empowered to be careful about what they read and not believe everything they read online.
Oh, I get it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important because when you making a decision, you have to based on facts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to know the truth. So, frankly, Otiaga was a former technology advisor to President Clinton and CEO of your company. You've been working in White House for 5 years.
Yes.
How did that start?
Well, it started because I wanted to make a difference in society. I know a lot of people say that and it sounds like a cliche, but I truly wanted to make an impact. I wanted to pursue a career that impacted all Americans, people all over the world, and so I went to Washington, D.C., and I had the great fortune of having an opportunity to work at the White House, and I spent 5 years with President Clinton. Initially, I was a policy analyst, and then I was promoted multiple times. I ended up becoming an advisor for technology policy for the whole country.
You did make a great impact. Actually, you helped infrastructure the internet in the United States. You also organized an internet event. That's the first one in White House, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I worked at the White House, I had the great fortune to be at the White House when the internet was being planned to. They were planning to roll out the internet in America. This was back in 1997. 1997, the American government had taken the internet from the Department of Defense and wanted to distribute it to the consumer, to the public. And so the White House set the direction and gave the instructions on how to best deploy it. We wanted to deploy it in a very fair and equitable way. We wanted it to be available for all Americans, not just the wealthy, not just the professionals, but all Americans, all average people. And so back then, it was a really new idea. A lot of people didn't understand the internet. At the White House, many of my colleagues were not sure about the benefits of the internet. But I always knew that the internet was very promising. I always knew that the internet would bring more benefits than the costs. And so I called it the great equalizer. The internet was always the great equalizer.
Yes. When you look back, and it seems that all your dreams have come true in all these years. But you have been always a visionary and a pioneer. You started almost one of the first internet online dating company.
Yes.
ChristianMingle.com.
Right. Christian Mingle was one of, so many, many years ago, we were one of the first companies in America to create online dating. The idea of online dating when we were introducing it to the public was very new. Just like when I was at the White House with the internet and trying to push internet policy, a lot of the people didn't understand, and it was very new, and they thought the internet was a fad. It would come and go. The same thing I experienced with online dating. When we were launching a revolutionary idea, people didn't understand it. They were afraid of online dating. They thought it was dangerous. They thought you would lose your credit card information. They thought you would lose your privacy. They felt that creating online dating was too dangerous. Why would you want to put two strangers together? It's so dangerous. But I believed in the power of community. I believe that online dating would bring people together. I believe that people really are good at deep down inside, and if you create a platform, then people would collaborate and cooperate and create communities. And so it ended up working out. It wasn't popular at the beginning because people were too afraid. But people like myself and others in the industry kept pushing the idea. And eventually it became popular.
You are always the very early pioneers. So like when you started, organizing the internet event in White House, and not
Right.
many people believe you. When you started online dating, and also many people don't see the future of that.
Right.
And right now you are doing this, online fake news filters. So where you get your strength from? And you've been working in White House with so many great people.
Right.
And who inspired you?
Well, I think the earliest form of inspiration was my mother. My mother was a person of strong morals, a person of a strong moral compass, very ethical. My mother was a great example to me of hard work and of doing things in the community to give back, to always cooperate, collaborate, to always try to find solutions. So I attribute a lot of my successes to what my mother taught me. And of course, my mentors at the White House, who I still am in contact with, they continue to serve as my mentors. You have to have, they say, when they look at my background, they say Franklin's been very successful, but I truly am sitting on the shoulders of giants. So the giants have helped me, my mentors, my people along my road of life have helped me. And so I'm very grateful. And so I've been able to do a number of interesting things, as you mentioned, to help push out the internet from the White House, to help create the first internet event at the White House. I mean, if you think about it, now it seems like it's ridiculous, but back then it was so difficult to get anybody to come to my event.
So who came to your event?
We had several people. We had about 40, 60 people.
Wow, that's a lot already.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 40 or 60. I think part of it was because it was an event at the White House, so they wanted to just come to an event at the White House. But a lot of them were government officials, government executives who were interested in technology. They weren't necessarily strong supporters of the internet. They were intrigued, and I think they wanted to learn more. But it was a very small crowd. Most of the audience, the size of the audience at White House events in that auditorium where we held it could fill up to 150 people.
You told me the story that actually the hero told you that just when he suggests you to go to attend the President Clinton's campaign, he told you that walk around and talk to people and find out what you want.
Right, right.
So how did that work? How do you find out?
Yeah, so my boss, my old White House boss, his name is Harold Ickes. He's a great man. I love Harold very much. He's been a great mentor to me. He was one of my first White House bosses, and there was a period of time after I worked for Harold, he asked me to go to the President Clinton's re-election campaign, which is outside of the White House, and he wanted me to walk around and
Talk to people
and
find out what you want.
Yeah, pick a department within the campaign to work, and I felt so confused. I actually felt a little bit sad and disappointed because I thought, why should I leave the White House? I thought I was doing a good job. But he wanted me to grow. He wanted me to gain experience working on the presidential campaign. And I had never worked at a presidential campaign before. So I trusted him, and it worked out. I ended up working for the campaign manager at the time, the CEO of the campaign. And then I ended up, after leaving the campaign, we helped re-elect President Clinton in 1996. And then I competed to come back to the White House.
That's an amazing story. We should find another time and share with yours about story. But today we're talking about this topic. and AI innovation a real solution for battling the fake news. Why do you think the AI is a real solution?
Because if you look at the enormous amount of information that is being generated on the internet, it's easy to see that it's impossible for humans to be able to track the millions and millions of pieces of information that are being generated on the internet. It's humanly impossible to track. So what solution is there to even have a chance to detect fake news? You have to use artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will multiply the human factor. Whatever human effort a company applies to solve the fake news issue, AI does it 10 times, 100 times, 500 times faster, 500 times more thorough, and 500 times more accurate. You need computer power.
That's right. Yeah, and I was thinking that another way maybe educate the people, because the people are the one to generate the fake news.
Right.
Maybe in the future, yeah, and the
Right.
people will have more respect for the truth, right?
Right.
Yeah, but also you are the one like really did many research by yourself. You travel to many places, especially China.
Right.
On the last year, you traveled China for 10 times. And the year before last, you traveled for 14 times. Why you go to China so often? Much more times than I do. I went to
Right.
China only 3 times.
Right.
So what do you do there?
So I've always considered myself a student of life. I've always wanted to learn about human behavior, human nature. I've been in business for several years, and so I wanted to learn more about an economy that is foreign to America. Another economy, a superpower, right? China is considered a very strong economy, a very vibrant economy.
Do you think there are so many fake news about China in the United States?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's only growing. There's a lot of fake stories, a lot of fake news about China and other countries. And see what fake news does is fake news is an epidemic. Okay, fake news is like a cancer. It affects your thinking. It affects your outlook. It affects your health. Because your health is connected to your brain, and so if your brain reads information, it tends to cause you to feel a certain way, either angry or sad or depressed. At the end of the day, you're misinformed. When you're misinformed, you're weaker. And so what I've been trying to do with Oh I Get It as a fake news filter is empower the citizen, regardless of whether they're in America or China or India or Southeast Asia, to give people, put the power back in the people's hands so they can make a decision. Is this article factual or not factual? Is it accurate or inaccurate? Is there exaggeration in the article, or is it very direct? I just wanted to use AI to create a tool to empower the citizen, and I think it's working.
So when you were in China, and what are the news you find is true? What is the true news you find?
Well, when I went to China, it was an eye-opening experience. I first went to China, I think, my first trip to China was in 2010, I believe, in 2010. And I was very impressed. It was a growing economy. They had opened up, their economy to the world, and I was very impressed. I only spent like a week there. I went to Changsha to do to negotiate a small deal with Hunan TV, and we had some small business there. And then I left. But I always thought about China. I had only spent like a week and a half there. And then in 2016, I started going back to China. And I was actually, my first trip to China in 2016 was because I was invited to deliver a keynote speech in Beijing. And that's what started me in that process of visiting China so much, because I would share what we had done in America as a tech advisor and how we had created the infrastructure for the internet and how we had rolled out programs, national programs for all the cities and all the states in the country. And so I share my experience through speeches to share a glimpse of what we've done in America with the people in China. And the best way to do it is by giving speeches to 3,000 to 5,000 people in the audience at a time, because it amplifies the message, and then those people share that message, and it so on and so on, and becomes viral. I fell in love with China in 2016, and I enjoyed just the community. The people are very warm, great food. The cities are so new. They're building cities every 6 months because they have, as you can imagine, they have 1.5 billion people, five times the population of America. So in my mind, in China, there's 5 times the opportunity.
5 times opportunity. So what opportunity you can see for United States?
I think, well, there are many. I mean, I think the leadership
In your industry?
in the technology
Yes.
and innovation industry, I believe there's a lot of opportunity for cooperation. There are many talented people in China. Because of the large population, they tend to have a large number of experts in every area, in every area of innovation, whether it's AI, whether it's fintech, blockchain, software, hardware. It's quite impressive. I think for American entrepreneurs, they really ought to visit. They first ought to visit China, perhaps Beijing and Shanghai first, to see themselves how much promise and how much opportunity there is to cooperate, to do partnerships, to do joint ventures.
You sounds really positive, and I'm so glad to hear that. And thank you for bringing out this. But for now, many people they were worried about the trade war, and also especially the future between United States and China. So how do you see this, the relationship in the economic and also the trade?
Sure, absolutely. Last year, I think it was last year or the year before, I spoke on a topic of the trade wars, and I gave a brief history. In American history, if you look back, we've had 3 major trade wars, 3 major ones, and every single one of them has come and gone, and the duration has varied. So when we have a trade war with a country, you can do 2 things as an entrepreneur. You can paralyze yourself and wait for the trade war to be over, or you can be very innovative entrepreneur and continue to work, continue to find ways to cooperate with whatever country it is. In this case, it's with China, right? The recent trade war with China. For the past 2 years, I've been encouraging entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley and throughout the country, even in China, to continue to cooperate, because a trade war, by definition, that is a political action. That's in the world of politics. In business, we have to stay focused on business and continue to cooperate. There are no laws that prevent cooperation between businesses.
I think there is laws.
There are laws when it relates to technologies that are related to defense and military.
Yes.
But in terms of small entrepreneurs who want to cooperate and who want to build an AI system, for example, to fight fake news, that's non-military related and that's not defense related. So there are many, many areas. What I encourage entrepreneurs to do is continue to innovate, continue to cooperate, continue to reach out to other countries, China, Southeast Asia, India, wherever you want. But specifically with regard to the trade war with India, with China and America, I believe it'll pass, and it's going to pass soon, hopefully. And when it does pass, the entrepreneurs who are at the front already trying to cooperate will be the first ones in line to benefit from the opportunities when the trade war is over. So I encourage all entrepreneurs to really continue to have a positive attitude and to explore what's possible in cooperating with China.
I think you are in the front line and will be benefit from this. But talking about your company, a real solution for battling fake news, how do you make money? People searching the news and then it's free, right?
Right, it's free now.
How do you make money?
Yeah, so there's many ways of making money. Right now we offer the 2 apps are available online in the App Store. If you have an iPhone, it's available for you to free It's free and it's available to download in the Apple.
Oh, I got it. URI.
Yeah, oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. OIGETIT.com. If you go to the Apple App Store, you can download Oh, I Get It, the fake news filter. If you have an Android phone, which most people in China, 90% of the people in China have Android
Huawei,
phone.
yes.
Yeah, they have Android operating system. In America, it's 60-40 iPhone. So whether you have an iPhone or whether you have an Android, you go to your app store, download Oh, I Get It, and try it out. It'll help you to determine whether the story is real or fake. And so it's a very powerful tool.
I would call you an expert in the internet because you've been doing this for so many years. And what do you see the trend of filter the fake news?
I think it's going to continue. There are many companies, as you indicated earlier, we are early. See, this is a story of my life. I get to the party early before anybody gets there.
Yeah, in China, there's a saying that pioneer is the one that's very easy to sacrifice. Yeah, to be, yes.
Right, right.
Yes.
So, and it could be a lonely road, but I think you have, if you believe in something. And
What do you believe in this?
I believe you have to contribute. I believe you have to do something about it. I'm a person that likes to get involved and contribute to the solution. When I was at the White House and I saw the internet was a significant tool, I wanted to get involved and ensure that people from all over the country would have access. When I developed an online dating company with my partners, I wanted to ensure that people understood the benefits, that it would help solve loneliness, because millions and millions of people all over the world suffer from loneliness. So what better solution than to bring people together using technology and the online dating platform? Now with fake news, I want to make sure that people are empowered. I want them to be aware of the misinformation that's out there. A lot of companies are looking into how to solve fake news. Because I believe I've been blessed with the vision to look forward, we started working on fake news 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So we're ahead of many of the companies in terms of having a mature platform to address fake news. But there are a lot of companies that are starting to create an ecosystem to fight fake news. Instagram has come out with some form of technology to fight fake news on their Instagram. Facebook is hiring thousands and thousands of human fact checkers. You know, so there are a lot of the big companies that are trying to do something about fake news. I know that our solution is one solution. We're contributing to the overall solution. Fake news is a global epidemic. It's a global epidemic. It's a major issue. Every country in the world is suffering from fake news because the internet touches every country. And the internet, unfortunately, has been used in improper ways. And some people find the need to make money off of misinformation.
When you're talking about all those things, and I was thinking about that, you created christianmingle.com, and you are a Jewish person, a family, and also your grandfather was born in Hong Kong. And how does this impact your decision and your meaning of your life?
I think coming from a very diverse family, like a family with multiple cultures. So my grandfather was born in Hong Kong, of Chinese descent, and having a mixture of backgrounds helps you to be more understanding, more compassionate, allows you to see the world differently than just from one perspective. I have many perspectives, and also because of my training and my career, I think I've been trained to understand how to solve major issues, national issues, and international, and now in today's world, how those national issues affect the global economy. Because we live in a global economy, everything is interconnected. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur or you want to make a significant impact on any area of society, you have to cooperate with the rest of the world.
Thank you so much. I hope that we're so honored to have you on our show.
Thank
I
you.
hope that our dialogue will inspire so many people to work together, inspire the world.
Well,
with
thank you, Diana. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a great honor to come and visit and share a little bit of my story, and I look forward to seeing you again. And hopefully you'll try Oh, I Get It, the fake news filter, and it's in the App Store, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. I'll try it for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.